Well, it starts today. I pulled it out of the garage. I'm going to take the hood off and start tearing it down. Put that RB30 in there. So let's get it going. Take that hood off and start unplugging stuff, unhooking stuff, and yank it out. Okay. So I got the hood off, radiator out, intercooler piping out of the way, ECU all unplugged. This is all undone. I'm just gonna pull it and let it come off there. Exhaust is unhooked. Transmission is drained. Transmission mount is off. I got a jack under the transmission, a jack under the car. I'm just gonna leave it this way and give her a little pulley pull. I'll probably hook up to the motor, give it some tension, maybe put it on the ground, whatever. But anyway, you guys gotta always keep these things. I installed that one. I leave these hanging on the wall in the shop because I like to have them off when the motor's in the car. I think it looks better without, that thing sticking up there. So, just going to put that on and pull the motor transmission at the same time. Took the shifter out. So it's almost time for motor in that car to come out. All right. Got it out. It's a windy day, so sorry for wind noise. Here's what she all looks like. That's a 30A Z31 Shiro turbo 5-speed transmission with adapter plate. See how the starter mounts better. The starter hole that's in the transmission, there's less of a gaping hole from the Z32. I think the Z32 mounts on the side or something. It's a huge hole. So anyway, that's all you've got, and I always meant to, I should have put a sheet of metal, extended the back engine plate to cover that. Oops. Inline oil filter. Save your turbo. Garrett GT35R. External wastegate. Is the stock manifold with a welded on little eBay mid piece, which is a terrible design. If you're thinking about getting that, don't do it. I had to port this out. The air wants to make a 90-degree turn. I ported all this, welded it up so I could port even more to try to make that 90 as smooth of a transition as I can. But I still dealt with boost creep issues until I put the 8.2 hot side on the turbo. Had a 6.3 on there and I just could not get away from boost creep. The RB30, 0 boost creep. Anyway, that's where we're at. So I assume, I've never done this before, I've got to get in here and unbolt these mounts. This motor blew, so it's nasty in there. MSD's coming out. Coil, don't need that anymore. My Aruga horn. Oh yeah. Well, this is pretty cool. The motor mounts, I didn't realize. Alright, so you got to unbolt your motor mounts for the RB installation, and you can easily get to the bolts from the back side of each mount. So those suckers just unscrew off, and that's it. And then your new McKinney Motorsport mounts bolt to the motor, and it will fit right in there with the hard mount material, whatever that stuff's called. That's it. All I gotta do is pull the motor and tranny out of that and stick it in if I'm gonna stay with the RB25 tranny. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out, is the Z31 turbo, if this is stronger, which I just can't see that it would be. I'd have to swap bell housings. I like the feel of the shifter in this one more than the RB25 5-speed. The RB25 grinds a little bit when going into first. This one grinds just a little bit going into third. Not every time. Both of them are not every time. That one is a more sloppy feel. This one has a short shifter in it. So I was going to put the short shifter into that 5-speed maybe before I pull it out so I can drive it. And I guess if it's not that bad, because I really don't want to have to take bell housings apart. I just want to take that transmission off and psh, that's it. Anyway, that's where we're at. Already got my custom drive shaft, the transmission mount. That's all already been done for that transmission. Okay, I got the RB30 out of the car. Bada boom, bada bing, couple hours. Now, I'm running into a situation with these transmissions because they are different. This is an RB25 5-speed, and now I'm trying to get it. I'm hooking it not on the motor shield thing there. If you look at the measurement, and this is one-handed, okay? I've already measured with my hands, but look at where the case splits. That first one about 15.5. Know what I mean? I don't. It's not actually 15.5. It's actually. I used to know how to read a tape really good, and I kind of forgot. Let me hook it on there. So it's actually it's a 1/16 over 3/4. Okay, to the first case, and the overall length. This is just going to be general. I'm hooking it without the motor thing, but to the shifter. Let's go to the bolt there. About 29 and 30 3/4 roughly to the center of the rear bolt. The rear flange thing where the drive shaft goes into the transmission on that one out there has been taken off. See how this one has a flange, the drive shaft starts. Anyway, so we measured to this bolt here. Now this is the 30A 5-speed out of a 87 300Z Shiro. Back to that first bolt, 33.5. And then if we go to the first split, we're right about 16 1/8, roughly, maybe 16. Now this adapter plate is machined flush with the transmission. Let me turn the light on here. It's flush with the outside lip of the transmission there. So anyway, we've got, what was the other one? 15 and a 1/16 over 3/4, which I used to know what all that was. I was a bit of a carpenter type of guy, gopher, if you will. So if we have less than a quarter, would that be less than a quarter? 3/8, 3/16, something like that. So that transmission is within a quarter of an inch longer bell housing wise than this one. The bolt pattern looks the same. The overall length of this transmission is, was it longer than that one? Okay, so that tells me I cannot use the RB25 transmission because of my custom drive shaft I already have. So I want to keep my drive shaft, and I actually like this transmission better the way it feels. So that's going to be my next thing, is I'm going to take the front case off this. I'm going to see if I can swap cases, or bell housings, if you will, and see if the 30A will bolt to the RB25 bell housing. Man, oh man. Whew. It's got to work. Now the bolt pattern, on this, to me, looks the same. Okay, let's take a look. We got the 3 here, 2 separated there. This is rough guesstimate stuff. Okay, but what I'm gonna do is I'll pull the green car out, take both transmissions off the motors, and really get them side by side and see what I'm really dealing with. But look at this. Here's the RB25. There's the 3. There's the 2 kind of separated. So, God, I hope that bolt pattern's the same. The input shaft, bearing size, all that really, really matters. And it really sucks if that's not going to fit, because that means I'll have to get a different drive shaft, and the shifter will come up in a slightly different spot if I have to use this one. Who'da thunk, huh? Who'da thunk it would be frickin' shorter? But now we know, so let's work on that.